20 years ago, in a forgotten American town, lived two brothers, Michael and Thomas. Michael, the older of the two, always stood up for his younger brother, Thomas, who suffered from the taunts and humiliation of his classmates. Thomas was quiet and withdrawn, his inner world filled with loneliness and anxiety. Michael, on the other hand, was confident, always ready to come to the rescue and protect his brother from any harm. Michael often faced difficulties because of this, but his resolve to protect Thomas never wavered. Despite his personal problems, Michael was an anchor for Thomas in the turbulent sea of teenage woes. This protective role of Michael's became the foundation of their brotherly bond, holding them together through tough times. Michael and Thomas were inseparable. In every corner of their small town, they sought ways to spend time together, and Michael always stood by Thomas's side, even if it meant getting into fights with bullies. Thomas, despite his reticence and tendency to withdraw, adored his older brother and sought his approval. Together, they created their little worlds of adventure, where Michael was the hero and Thomas the loyal companion. One day, when bullies again started to harass Thomas in the schoolyard, Michael unhesitatingly jumped into the fray, defending his brother. This scene was part of their daily struggle, and Michael always knew that Thomas needed his support. Life in the small town was monotonous and dull. The brothers found it difficult to discover anything exciting or unconventional in their everyday lives, and they constantly sought new adventures. Sometimes it was just an escape into the woods or a walk around the outskirts where they could discuss their dreams and plans. One day, their search for adventure led them to an abandoned field on the edge of town, where they stumbled upon an old crypt. The crypt looked eerie. Its sagging door and weathered walls were surrounded by tall grass and vines. The brothers' curiosity got the better of them, and Michael, with his unchanging spirit of adventure, convinced Thomas to explore it. Inside the crypt, they found numerous ancient artifacts and strange items, but one in particular caught Thomas's attention: an old book with a grim cover. The book was covered in dust and cobwebs, but its appearance, as if promising hidden secrets, drew Thomas in. When Thomas opened the book, something inexplicable began to happen. A sudden gust of wind in the crypt lifted dust from the ancient stones, and the flames of the candles around them began to flicker. Thomas felt a strange pull, as if an invisible force was drawing him to the center of the crypt. Michael, noticing the change in his brother's behavior, tried to stop him, but it was already too late. Thomas began to dissolve into the air, his body disappearing, leaving Michael in utter horror and confusion. Michael tried to grab his brother, but his hands grasped only emptiness. The crypt filled with silence, and the only sound was the howling wind, which seemed to carry away everything dear to Michael. Michael spent the entire night in the crypt, desperately and unsuccessfully trying to find Thomas. His cries echoed through the empty corridors, but there was no response. Michael was filled with guilt and fear, not understanding what had happened and how it could have occurred. When dawn broke on the horizon, Michael returned home, exhausted and frightened. His parents and the townspeople organized a search party, but Thomas was never found. Michael, observing the concern and sympathy of those around him, felt that this whole tragedy was his personal fault. Each day, Michael sought answers, trying to understand what had happened on that fateful day and how he could fix what seemed irreparable. In his heart remained not only the pain of loss, but also an undying hope to find any trace of his brother and unravel the mystery carried by the old book in the mysterious crypt.